Hello everyone. My name's Dan and I'm going to be starting a mini episode series where what I like to call like the first contact series. Basically, I'm just going to be doing a breakdown on a particular K-pop group and just going through some like basic facts and some songs that are really prominent and like how they debuted and what kind of how many members and who they are. And then what makes it so interesting is that we're going to give our opinions on like how they first came into contact with them, and like that like what I like to call that knee slapping moment where you finally decided that yes, this is a group I really want to follow and listen to. And so for every episode, I'm going to have special guests with me, which are just my fellow K-pop knee slappers. So today we have Maria with us. Hi, Maria.
Hi, Dan.
Hi.
Thanks for having
No
me.
problem. I'm super excited to introduce our first group that we're going to be going into, and it's Twice, my ultimate group that I follow, and probably like the one of the first groups that I started listening to, which is why it has a special place in my heart. So we're just gonna go through some basic facts about them. For those of you who don't know, they're under the JYP Entertainment Organization, a very one of what like most people like to say is one of the big three. So they're a very popular organization and known as like the nation's girl group as this current time. So it's great to be a Twice fan because you get plenty of content. It's all high quality. So Twice has 9 members, and this is where we're gonna butcher their names, but we'll go through them. We got Nayeon, Jungyeon, Momo, Sana, Jihu, Mina, Dahyun, Chaeyoung, and Chui, and they're all from different countries. And so we got some Koreans, we got some Japanese, and we got Chui that's from Taiwan. So it's really cool to have a mixed group like that and still be known as like the Korean girl group. So it's really cool. So we're gonna go into talking about their debut, which is from a reality show, 16. Did you watch it, Maria, or not?
I watched bits and parts of 16. I never did like watch the whole show,
Yeah.
but I was aware of what was happening on the
Right.
show.
Yeah, I never actually have watched any of the episodes, even though like I'm a huge Twice fan, solely for the purpose of I know what happens to Twice, and it would be heartbreaking to see just like some of the girls like make like just be that close to like becoming like one of the most popular girl groups and then not making it. It's too heartbreaking. I don't really like that. They over dramatize things sometimes, and it really it feels awful. And I
Yeah, that show is odd to watch because it's like you see Jeon Sung Mi there when she's 13 before she went on Produce 101, which is crazy. And then you see I think it's Chae Yun and Chae Yun, the sisters,
yeah,
which is weird to see them so young.
yeah.
And then some older trainees. Well, now they're not trainees anymore, but
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And a few of them went on to have careers, but not many of them. But still, it's really hard to watch like a that close moment. So yeah, and that like show itself caused a whole lot of like drama with itself because two of the members that actually made it into the group, Momo and Chui, didn't actually like go through like the normal show to like make it into the group because they were going to debut as like a 7-person group, but then they ended up adding the two at the last minute. They added Chui because she was like the audience favorite, like everyone, she was like the most popular member, so everyone was just like please please add her to the group. And then JYP himself added Momo because she was by far the best like dancer, and they needed a strong dancer. And even though she,
they needed a
yeah,
strong
and
answer
she
for
definitely
sure.
shines even now, but she was like out in like the second round or something like that. So it was like, yeah, it was pretty crazy to like have that in. sparked a little bit of controversy, but I think everyone's really happy with how they ended up right now. So,
Oh yeah, that was hard to watch Momo getting kicked
uh,
out because I'm like, she is so talented.
yeah,
She can't
it was so
go, and I'm
sad.
glad JYP was so
Yeah,
smart in bringing her
it
back.
was a good choice, and it definitely they've needed her, her expertise for sure. So their debut song was Like Ooh, and it was I'd say a hit. I think a lot of people really liked it, and it started a very good a career. It wasn't just overplayed or anything, so it was good. It was a good song. I personally really like that song. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
we'll get into some of the other songs they have. First, we'll talk about like their most recent comeback. Their Korean comeback was "Feel Special" with the title track "Feel Special," and then they also had a Japanese comeback recently, and twice with their title track of "Fake and True." So both of those were really good, and they happened in 2019. So towards the end of that year, so that was it was a good year for Twice. So we're gonna go through some of the more popular titles. I think the biggest one, I think the one that really made Twice become what it is today is "Cheer Up" and "TT." I think those two songs are really what made them like the nation's girl group. Um,
oh yeah,
for
100%.
sure. Like I think this is what like made them past the point of popularity. Like they were just that it really kicked off their career. So that was a really great good for them. Some of the other really popular songs that they have for title tracks is Likey, Fancy, What Is Love, and one of I think both of our favorites is one of their Japanese title tracks for Breakthrough. We both love that song. It's if you haven't heard any of these title tracks yet, Breakthrough is probably the highlight there. But all of these songs are really good.
Breakthrough's so
Breakthrough is
amazing.
amazing.
I'm glad they made a Korean version of
Yeah,
it. It's so good.
they realized that song was a banger, so they had to make a
Oh
Korean
yeah.
version. So some of
Mhm.
the more popular B sides, I think that a lot of people seem to like, I hear about a lot, are Ho, Love Foolish, Hot, Sunset, 24/7, and One in a Million, which is one of their fan songs. So those are some really popular B sides that you should listen to if you haven't heard them already. But
I just want to say, Momo, I think, helped write Love Foolish and Hot,
yes, yeah, they
so I'm just saying, it was a good thing she was added to
yes,
this
for sure.
group.
Those are two great songs, and the members do write a lot,
Oh,
which is great. I love it when that
they
happens, and I
do.
think some of the ones that they write are some of their best songs. So that's always a plus. 24/7 and Ho, and I believe Sunset are all written by Jihu as well. So
Well, that's
that's really
good.
cool too. So they all have writing talent. I think all of them have written at least one song. I think Chewy hasn't, and a lot of them are some of their best songs. So that's really cool. So I'm
Yeah.
excited that they're given that much freedom to just help write lyrics to tracks and stuff. I don't know if many of them are. I think only Chaeyoung is really into the producing side of things, but most of the lyrics they have written a lot of B-side lyrics. So that's really cool. And now we'll transition into the more like personal side of things, where we talk about our first contact with the group or not. So I'll go first, and the first time I ever really came into contact with Twice, it was probably the Likey music video. I think I got suggested by my brother. It's going to be a lot of times you'll hear that, or I was suggested by my brother. Twice was one of the first groups that I started listening to. Um, Mostly only was listening to boy groups, mainly BTS, but like Likey was one of the few videos that I really got introduced to, and I was like, oh, okay, I think I actually know who Twice is now. And then I remember when Yes or Yes came out, and I remember thinking like, oh, I know this group. I will watch this video. I didn't quite stand them or like really follow them that much, but those were like the two songs that really like made me differentiate them from other groups as in like the industry. So that was for me. Those were like the first time I ever came into contact with Twice.
Yeah, so for me, the first time that I ever really listened to Twice, besides of course like 16 was like ooh and then cheer up. I definitely prefer like ooh cheer up. It's not a bad song. I do quite like it, but there's parts of the chorus that I'm just like not really a fan of. Um,
I don't think you're the
I
only
mean,
person.
still,
Let's just say it that way.
oh, I'm definitely not the only person.
I have pretty negative opinions of Cheer
uh,
Up. I think it was because there's still them starting out. It was a huge hit in Korea. It still is. Like
it
it's
was. Oh my
massive hit.
goodness.
I'm honestly surprised. I know a lot of international fans aren't really big on that song because the English pronunciation wasn't quite on point for that. It doesn't sound that great to us.
You tried, Jihyo.
You
You
did. You really
tried.
tried. It's not that it was a bad song or anything. It didn't really work for a lot of internationals, and we like to make fun of that a lot. But I do believe that they have improved a lot, especially in the English side of things. In their
Oh,
most recent,
definitely.
like pronunciation is just better, and all around it sounds a lot better. But that song is a huge hit in Korea. It still is. It's like that again. I think that's the song that really solidified it for a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Very much
Yeah.
so.
And then I'm gonna talk about like our big knee slapping moment where we're just like, okay, I like this group. This is different than any other group. I'm gonna start digging into them and following whenever they release stuff. Kind of like that knee slapping moment. And I'll let you start with this. Like, go ahead and share. Like, what was the first time where you're just like, all right, this is it.
Ooh.
This is the moment.
One of my early really big favorites from them is TT. I really like the music video for this
It's
song.
adorable.
It's cute, and also it's like kind of storybook like,
Yeah.
kind of a little bit of fairy tale, a little bit of this and that, a little bit of Halloween. I like that. And I also like how this music video connects to another music video of
Yeah,
theirs.
knock knock. One
Yeah,
of my
knock knock.
favorites as
What
well.
knock knock is
I love
fun.
knock knock.
But like I definitely have more favorites.
Yeah.
Like ones that I prefer. Like for example, Likey, it just like pulled me back into Twice. I'm like, yes, I love this bubblegum
Yes.
pop.
Shameless. Shameless
Yeah,
love.
it's so much fun, and it's like clever because they kind of do like, it's like a the album's called Twice the Gram, and like their Instagram account is literally called Twice the Gram.
Yep,
I think
it is. It's really funny.
it's
It becomes
funny.
a
I
thing.
like
Yeah.
that little play, and it's like likey, like, and they point a direction of where the heart is located in Instagram. So I've always found that to be super cute. Oh, fancy, damn.
Oh yeah.
This, how they say it stole my wig.
Yep.
I was like, I really, for the longest time, really wanted Twice to like have their Run Devil Run moments,
Mhm.
and Fancy to me is that Run Devil
Dang.
Run moment. And it was just so good. It was everything I wanted and more, but yet it definitely felt like Twice.
Mhm.
It like made sense. And I think this is their title track that could be the most palpable to people who maybe might not be really into the more bubblegum
Yeah,
side of
for sure.
Twice. So I think that, it's a great introductory title track into them, I think. Because it's kind of like, ooh, look at all the flashy, nice outfits, and they're dancing well, and it's fun, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah. And then Feel Special, mainly because it's such a good song, flat
No,
out. It was
it's a
such a
great
great
song. I
follow-up
loved it.
to Fancy, but also the EP for Feel Special is so good. It is my favorite Twice release by far.
It's amazing.
It's just all the songs I pretty much love, all of them, and I couldn't highly recommend that EP enough.
No, yeah, that's like as their most recent Korean comeback. was like the first time I was like really looking forward to like a comeback, and like I bought all the albums. I bought them on like I went full on. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna commit to this. Woke up at like every single day they had a teaser release for each member. I was like, it was like during my break, so I would always watch it. It was so exciting. It was such a great way to come back. It was so fun to watch, and then it lives to the hype of just being a great album and a great title track. There's so much
Oh,
about that song
absolutely.
and everything from production to vocals to like just outfit. It's so great.
It's just done
It's
so
so
well.
yeah.
And
Written
yeah.
by JYP himself with the help from the
Oh yeah.
members. He like asked them out like, what do you want to write? Like, what do you want to share? And this is what they chose, and it hit so hard and it hit so well. I don't think it charted
And
as well
yeah.
as Fancy. Like, it's not like Fancy is just like it knows what it is. It's gonna be a banger. Everyone's gonna like listen and want to dance to it. Feel Special was that
Yeah.
song that like made it, you know, personal to people. So that's what made it so fun. So I really liked that.
Yeah, I think the thing with Feel Special too is the timing of it. Because this was right around when Mina had to go on
Yeah.
hiatus. And I really like Mina. I like her voice. I think she's a great dancer, good performer. And yeah, she was just having some, I guess you could say, personal slash kind of mental health stuff that she needed to take care of at the
Hmm.
time. And I think this was also right around they went on tour, if I'm not
Yeah, they started their
mistaken.
like Twice
Yeah,
Lights tour and stuff. So it was like a lot
yeah.
of stress going around. And then they just was like, all right, no stress. Come back when you're ready. They handled it so well. And then their song at the end was just like, this is like that. She came back for the song and music video. She didn't help promote, which is fine and all that. She got to rest, which she desperately needed. I mean, all K-pop industry is worked to death. So I'm glad that they allowed her to rest when she desperately needed it and stuff. So yeah, they
Yeah,
handled
I
it
hope they
well.
don't push
Yeah,
twice, yeah, too much in the
don't push
future.
them, but also like having her come back for this song and the lyrics behind it and how like it's gorgeous. If you haven't heard her lyrics in the song, you should. It's beautiful. Like it you can't. The first few times I listened to it, I teared up a little. I'm gonna be honest. It was so special.
Mm.
Made you feel special. It just
Did it,
it
Dan?
did.
Did
It
it really?
really did. It was perfect. That's why I love it so much. It has such a special
Yeah.
meaning to me. So like I love that, and I think it'll go back like for however long they decide to do stuff. This will be a track that people remember just because of all the meaning behind it. Because that's what it felt like. There's a lot of
Oh,
meaning
yeah.
to it. So it was great.
There is. Now, Dan, what about your
Oh,
songs? What are your most knee-slapping moment
all right.
songs from
Uh,
Twice?
I think like the point where I started like, well, I talked about like the first contact songs that I like really first listened to them, and kind of when I first started listening to K-pop, it was kind of just like, ooh, I like that song. I'll just throw it in a playlist. So it was like a few songs, but one of the songs that I added to my playlist, and let me tell you, if I could like keep track of how many times I've actually listened to this song, it would be in the hundreds at least, because Dance the Night Away is a song you could just play on repeat forever. It's so fun. It was like, I think it's like one of the few songs that my brother and I both like, because he is not a huge Twice fan, and I bother him with it all the time. But "Dance the Night Away" is a song you can't help but just like dance to. That's the whole point. It's the great summer bop that everyone loves, and that was like that first time where I was like, okay, this is the song that really like sealed the deal. Where I was just like, okay, they can make good music, but I wasn't quite committed at that point, which then came to the release of Breakthrough. And when I heard Breakthrough,
Oh my
I
god.
was just like, okay, flip the table. I'm done. Like, I gotta start standing Twice now.
Same.
Like, it was kind of that point where I was just like, well, my brother likes all these groups, but I want to have my own group that I like listening to. And so I'm like, oh, this is their most recent thing. Let me watch it. And then I'm like, Breakthrough. I'm just like, all right, I'm sold. Because that video is so good. From the dance
Oh, it
to like the
is.
outfits to like again everything, like it's such a catchy beat. Like it's so fun. Like I love that song, and it's a Japanese release too. Like that's what's so crazy about them is that they have some really strong Japanese releases. So that was crazy. And so right after that, I'm like, all right, let's start from the beginning. Let's check out this debut. And I watched like and then I'm like, yep, it's done. All right, we're a Twice stand now. All right, we're part of the Once crew or whatever. So like it's happening. So that's kind of like that knee slapping moment for me where I was just like, it was like Dance the Night Away was the first song where I was like, this is a banger. I like Twice. And then Breakthrough came out, and I was just like, all right, I'm done. And like I was just like, all right, well, now it's time to listen to their whole tracks and discography because they're great.
To add on to Breakthrough, which I absolutely love as
Mm-hmm.
well, the Korean version of the song is included in the Feel Special
It is
EP. Just saying, more reason
to
for you
listen to
to
that
listen
album.
to the Feel
Yeah,
Special EP.
absolutely. Yeah, no, Twice has some pretty good B-sides. I feel like they're mostly known for their title tracks, but they do have some really good B-sides as well. And I
They
think some
do.
of those really popular ones that we talked about. I think you should just look up like which songs are written by the members because honestly, I feel like of my favorites, those are often the ones that I like the most. So that's something to definitely look forward to. Is just like looking at actual member lyrics is that the ones that they wrote because they're really good. The EP that shines the most for me is Yes or Yes. Funny going back to like that first like album release that I actually paid like noticed. But I didn't really listen to the whole album. I just listened to the music video when I first started listening to Twice. That whole EP is by far my favorite. Like every single title, like from the title track to every song on there, is amazing. I love that EP to death. One of the songs specifically, "Say You Love Me," I get made fun of a lot for it. A lot of people don't like that, but I love that song to death. That's probably like my favorite B-side. I could listen to that song over and over again. It's just one of those that you just like can't help but smile and listen to. So yeah, Twice is that it just sort of like hit all those points where I'm just like, you know what? It's time to stand. And I just went ahead and just started listening and loving them more. Which transitions to like why you should care about this group. What makes them so like, interesting to why are they Korea's girl group per se? And I think straight up like what really differentiates them for me is like one, they're just like, well, a lot of these like since they have to write such like perform such bubbly fun music, they're just fun people, and I think that's why they got chosen for 16, and JYP chose like these members specifically because they're fun people, and I think that show really brought them all together because anytime you see them interact with each other, like I mean this is true with a lot of people, especially if you have to like work and live and your entire life revolves around these people. It's almost like you're a part of this family. But with Twice, like it's very evident that they're just a family and they like each other a lot. Like they're all friends. A lot of them even live on their own, like with other members. They just own a house together and stuff. So they're actual friends, and I think that's what really sells the group for a lot of people because they just enjoy what they do. They like doing it with each other. I mean, they loved like even when one of their members had to like leave for a while, they were really upset about that. They didn't want to just move on without her. So they're like, whenever you're ready, we're here for you, kind of a thing. And it really showed. And I think that's what makes them so unique amongst other groups. Like I know that's true for a lot of groups, but I really see it with Twice, and that's what makes them so attractive to a lot of people because they're just a very fun people that like each other. Um, I will say, like, I don't think they're the most talented in terms of their singing abilities, especially with their live performances.
I
I don't
agree.
think I'm never gonna say that they're the best singers out there. They try and do some covers of other groups, and they don't sound quite as good as some other groups out there. So I don't think that they're the most talented when it comes to the singing aspects. I do believe they are very good dancers. I think that's something that JYP really emphasizes with a lot of his groups because he himself is a great dancer and he really pushes that a lot. So I do believe that their performances and their choreographies are some of the better ones in K-pop. I mean, I just think of like just look at their title tracks. They all have like these killer moves that people just recognize. I mean, Cheer Up. I mean, everyone does the little shy 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 dance. Like it's just iconic. Like they people know and remember that. With like Likey, Yes or Yes, like they all have like these killer moments where everyone just fancy for more recent, yeah, like TT. Like I could go on. Like everyone loves to mimic them. Everyone loves their choreographies, and I do believe that they're great performers as well. Those are the reasons that I really like sold my soul to Twice per se. I just was like, you know what? They're just fun and lovable. Like I don't see like they're the most talented. Like I can agree with that, but I do think that they're most fun to in terms of entertainment, and that's really why you listen to them and listen to music in general is for their entertainment value. And I do believe that Twice is by far like the most entertaining group out there, for me at least. Like I know this is not for everyone, but for me that's the reason that really sold them for me is just how fun they are. What about you?
I agree. For me, I'm gonna go off what you said about them being great performers, because when you compare stemming from JYP, if you've ever gone back and looked at himself as a solo
Mm-hmm.
artist back in the day, he has always been a performer
Yeah,
first.
yeah, by far.
He always has focuses on dancing. His singing, he can still sing, but it's definitely not one of the best. But ultimately, for him, it's about being a great
Mm-hmm.
performer. And when you look at all the groups that have, or most of them, that have come from JYP, there is definitely a strong emphasis on groups being able to perform and entertain, not necessarily on vocal ability. But like for example, Rain, he's a well-known solo artist from back in
Mm-hmm.
the day. Sunmi, an alumna from Wonder Girls, she is still doing very
Mm-hmm.
well. Uh, Stray Kids, those kids perform their hearts
Yeah, for
out.
sure. Yeah, no, Got
Um,
Seven.
yeah,
Like I,
you know,
they
and of course, oh yeah,
Yeah,
got
they're like the
seven.
big. Like I
Yeah.
think all their groups are just focuses. He really like Itzy is the most recent, and I think Itzy's got some of the best perform. Like they have like really good choreographies, and they all dance really well. So like again, yeah, I do think I see that in the JYP entertainment industry. It performance first, for sure.
Oh yeah. And like Twice embodies
Mm-hmm.
that and but does it really well and does it in their own way that is not comparable to Miss A or Wonder Girls or ITZY. It's definitely their own
For sure.
flavor. But that flavor has been they do it really well, but it's also been proven to be really successful,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And that's what I love about that. Um they're really fun just to watch interacting with
Yeah.
each other, honestly. They do seem to be quite close. They do seem to really care about each other, you know. Because at the end of the day, they're coworkers first, ultimately, but they do really feel like they are friends, or in a way,
Mm-hmm.
sisters. You know, you know, it's they they just have that closeness that feels genuine.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes you could tell, I feel like with certain groups, it's definitely more
Mm-hmm.
professional. But with Twice, it definitely feels more personal for the members. Like that they're having fun, they're all seem to be invested into this and really care about each other, which I love. And frankly, I guess maybe this is not a hard definitive reason, but they're one of the top girl groups out there. Kind of like with BTS, I feel like you have to really take the time to at least check out a few of their songs so you can try to understand why they've gotten to the point that they've
Yeah.
gotten. You know, even if you don't like it, you know, I think they are like they're the best selling girl group of all time, I
Yeah.
think, by now.
So and
Like
they're
they've done
still making more.
amazing.
Like they ain't stopping yet.
They're still making
Like it's
more.
crazy.
They're like how many years in? They're like 4 years in now. It's insane. They beat out Girls' Generation in sales. It's like it's wild.
It's
It's
kind of like
wild.
that. It's just like if you haven't heard of them by now, like you ought to. And the reasoning why they're so famous is probably like just what we talked about. It's just like why
Yeah.
they are so fun and lovable, but they are also super great performers. So like they're just they have the entertainment down. Like people like watching that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's kind of it. That's
They
kind
are
of why
the standard
they make it.
for yeah. They're the standard for third generation idols, girl groups. Period.
Yeah, I look forward to what they release next. It's coming soon, June 1st. The
Oh,
title
yeah.
track is already announced to be More and More, so that's gonna be fun to look forward to. I can't wait to see what they bring to us. We already know it's gonna be great because it's Twice. They kind of do that.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, well, thank you so much, Maria, for coming on and talking Twice with me, because I never get to talk about them enough because people are sick of hearing me talk about it. So
Hey, you're doing your duty as a fellow
Yes.
once. You're doing
Thank
great,
you.
Dan. You're doing
all the
great.
propaganda that I could offer, and continue to buy their merchandise, continue to buy their albums. Otherwise, you're a fake fan, is all I have to say.
Oh, come on
All right.
now.
I had to
I'm
pull
kidding.
in a plug. I'm indoctrinated. It's kind of like in the code. I'm sorry, but yes.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Well, thank you so much. I look forward to the next episode where we talk about another group. But for now, signing off. This was Dan.
And this was the Slappin Kpop podcast.
Indeed. So feel free to check out some of our other stuff. We try and upload whenever we can, but it's a lot of fun. And thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.